From a very young age, I never felt like I belonged to the human race. I didn't understand planet Earth. I didn't understand the rules of planet Earth. I didn't understand the reasons behind why a lot of humans thought the way that they thought, why they did things the way that they did, to the point where I was like in my very early teens and I started reading massive books on psychology, on body language, to be able to understand this race that wasn't mine, but that somehow when I looked in the mirror, I looked like them. Never anything that Earth. I wanted to yeet myself off of this planet since the day that I can remember. There was no advantage to me staying on planet Earth because I didn't belong to the human race. Because I didn't feel human, connections for me were never a necessity, and we talked about this, but it's just I'm diving deeper and deeper into it because now it's the phase where I accepted that connections for me is not something that is needed, but now it's reprogramming my mind to go over the societal programming that was programmed in my mind for so long, that I don't go back into the old loops where I lose myself into what society wants of me instead of just being myself. It got me thinking because a lot of people that when they grow up in toxic environments or family households, or they have like self-hatred, or let's say that they just like want to destroy their lives because they don't want to live, they get into toxic relationships for self-destruction. Whereas for me, I never connected to the whole getting into a toxic relationship for self-destruction, because for me connection was self-preservation. Connection for me, especially with guys, was a way for me to connect myself back on planet Earth. It was the anchor, which is what divine masculine energy is. When you're a divine feminine, hold on, my music started randomly in my ear. Oh my god, it was so cold outside. That's what masculine energy is, right? It's like the anchor, anchoring the divine feminine, which me, I was always up in the astral as a divine feminine. I was always up in the astral. So the divine masculine in my life always came to anchor me back. But the thing that really made me think is how every single male relationship that I had, whether it was the business partners or romantic, like with my ex, or just guys that I would have like through talking stages, situationships, whatever, always looked good on paper and everything was good on paper, but somehow they were always bad for me. Like, they looked good, they had a future, they had money, they had good friends, they had good family, there was something, right? Like, when you look at someone being toxic, like when you look in books and in movies and everything, it's always like you look at them and they're like, okay, either they're like dealing drugs, or they're a loser, they're whatever it is, right? Like, they're a bum. And especially if you go with the idea, like from the broken family household, I wanted to leave this planet. If we go with that same idea, then I should have gotten into connections to self-destruct, not to self-preserve. But for me, it was the opposite. Relationships for me, especially with the masculines, it was a way for me to create a